Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Here on the Sheenapreneur channel, I share information about government contracting, veteran business content, and other business tips. Today, I'm driving. I'm actually headed to an event coming from Atlanta, going to North Carolina. For those who follow JT Hustle, JT Automations, he's having a wealth seminar, and I have been invited to speak. Your girl in there. What I want to talk to y'all about is building your business first. So in my course, GovConNOW, I have a lot of students who already had a business. Typically, those are the ones who come to me, but I do have some newbie businesses or businesses that they want to change their industry. So one thing that people forget is that you got to build your business first. So when you are, doing your business and then you decide to come up with government contracting, you may have not run your business the way it should have been run. So what I mean by building the business first is people will, just jump into government contracting without having a business, which is fine. That is okay. I kind of did that coming from real estate and going into facilities, but I still was in the industry a little bit. I still had contractors. I still kind of understood some of the nuances when it came to renovations and stuff like that. So facilities is pretty much like renovations, or maintaining facilities. So I wasn't just brand spanking new. So people have to build their business like a real business before they go and just start, like trying to build it with government contracting. Now, one of the benefits of building your business with government contracting is that the government is going to force you to have all your documentation, and they're going to force you to, make sure that everything is right. So you'll be building your business correctly because the government demands that, and they demand for you to have all your documentation, all your legal parameters in place, like your insurance, be registered as a legit business. There are so many people that couldn't even get the PPP loan because they weren't even a legit business, and they've been doing what they have been doing with their trade for like 20 years, but they couldn't get the loan because they never had an EIN. It's like, so you never paid taxes, you were just out here. So, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, when you build your business, then that is how you are able to get into government contracting and really treat it as such. There are a lot of parameters that once you start getting federal contracts where they're going to come, the government is going to ensure that you are protecting them as a client, their information, and also maybe any clients that they're working with. The same goes for corporate. Local, yes, it could be the same, just depending on what agency that you are working for. For example, if you're working for like the Social Security Administration, then there's a slight chance that they will require you to have a lot of parameters or firewalls or anything on your computer system in order to protect their information. So what I mean by having your business together is you're registered, you have your EIN, you may or may not need your business license, but you have your business license, you have your accountant, you have an attorney. Especially in government contracting, you absolutely need an attorney that is familiar with government contracting. That is key. Same thing with an accountant. You need an accountant and bookkeeper. Not all accounting firms have bookkeepers, but nonetheless, an accountant that is familiar with government contracting, a bookkeeper that's familiar with government contracting, if they don't come together as a package. You don't need a business development person, which is shortened to biz dev. However, there needs to be an understanding of biz dev in your business. So if that person is not you, meaning you don't know how to develop the business as a government contracting business, then you need to hire that person or send one of your people to some kind of course or some type of training. They do have capture management courses. That's capture management, which if you just kind of break down those two words, you're capturing the opportunity, right? So you have someone who's a capture manager that's supposed to capture the opportunities and manage them, essentially. So there's courses like that out there. Do they deliver? Maybe. I think the biggest lesson in government contracting is on-the-job training, OJT. So someone can take a course and still not really understand how to bid on a contract or manage a contract. And, sometimes everything is not bidding either. It may just be partnering with another company or partnering with an agency or something like that. So it's not, when I use bidding, it really just means you're doing business with the government or you're doing a partnership. It's all the same. It ain't that serious. It's all the same. And it basically all leads to the same goal, that the government is going to be your client. That's literally it. So when you're building your business as a business. So take the government out of it. Take the corporate agency like AT&T, T-Mobile, Coca-Cola, Boeing, Delta. Take those agencies out of the equation. Take the airport out of the equation. Take the Department of Defense, the federal government out of the equation. Build your business. Boom. Once you build your business, now solicit your services or your product to the government. Just if you think about it like that, it makes it a lot easier to understand how to do contracting. You're just filling out paperwork the same way you would if you were to apply. Pretty sure everyone in my audience has had at least one job. One job where they had to fill out an application. So if you think about it like that, where you fill out an application for a job and they ask you for all this paperwork and you fill it all out, you have to submit your ID information, your social security card, all these other things, then it's the same thing with the government. The government basically wants you to fill out an application to say, I can do this job. Now, there's a few nuances, of course, but it goes back to knowing your industry. So if you are filling out this application for the government to provide a service, and let's just use janitorial, for example, you're telling the agency, you're telling the federal government, the local government, the school system, this corporate agency, that you can do this job. Here's my price to do this job. So you're building your business, but then you're just using the government as your client, just like any other client. If you know how to build your own clients for just regular service, business to business, business to customer, so they're kind of like B2B, B2C, then if you just include the government as one of your clients, then you're just filling out an application to provide the same service that you've been providing. Now, some people do tell me that they don't want to, whatever business they're doing, they don't want to do that in government contracting. I don't know why, unless you really, really hate it. With me being a veteran, a retired veteran, 20 years in IT, I wasn't interested in providing IT services for the government. Still not. Maybe one day, I doubt it, because I'm trying to decrease my stress rather than increase. Not to say that the government or any industry is not going to have some level of stress, but for me, the IT world, doing that for so long, not interested. So another thing that you have to think about when it comes to building your business is you have to know that being a business owner is stressful. Period. I don't care if you're making pies, like in the book E-Myth Revisited, where Patty's Pies, she loved to bake pies her whole life until she opened up a pie shop. Now she hates pies. She hates the smell of pies. She hates the way they look. She don't even eat pies anymore. So you still are a business owner. So don't think of it as, I'm gonna go into this government contracting and everything's gonna be peachy. Now I will say, usually if you go from, say, residential or business to consumer or something like that, the money doesn't always match the effort. But with the government, typically the money matches the effort. So I will say that that does help and allow you to feel like, okay, I'm doing all this work. This is stressful. However, the money matches the effort. So building your business is key. Following all the steps to, get your business up to a certain point, and it doesn't even have to have revenue, right? I literally opened my bank account with my first check. That is not common and that is not advisable, but that's just the way it worked for me. That's the way the cookie crumbled for me. That's the way it was. But you can just take whatever business that you have and then just have the government become your client. That is it. So like in my course, GovConNOW, I teach about federal contracting, local contracting, and corporate contracting. I started my company with local contracting. I've only had a few federal contracts, and I've still been able to get to 7 figures without having a major federal contract. So I recognize that, okay, I'm right here I'm in Atlanta. I'm right here in this perimeter area, which includes a lot of counties, a lot of cities. So I want to be close to the procurement people. I want to be able to reach out and touch you for my money. So for me, I wasn't necessarily pressed about getting federal contracts. So people can easily make 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures doing local contracting, because local contracting includes the public school system, and sometimes even the private school system. I don't know how that works, but I've had a few requests with the private sector, private school system, colleges, because they're kind of like state and private at the same time. So you can easily get to a whole bunch of money with the local government. Corporate, kind of the same, but the corporate doesn't have to follow any rules by taxpayers, because they are sometimes private entities, or even, just they might be public, but they're still private in the sense that they don't have to sub out any work, or they don't have to have any diverse suppliers. They don't have to have any suppliers. They just, they can do whatever they want to do. Everything can be internal. So with that, you can easily get a really large, continuous, forever contract, so to speak, with corporate agencies. So it's not all just, I want to do business with the federal government. What turns people off is registering SAM and, doing all the registration processes to get federal contracts, when if you go to local route, even the corporate side, usually they want you to have a certification and you have to pay for those certifications. But on the local side, you usually don't have to have anything. Just business has to be legit. Agencies do have some set aside. By set aside, I mean, like if you're a woman-owned business, minority-owned business, disadvantaged or veteran business, then they might say, check this box. But typically, you can just go and bid on contracts as long as you can perform the work. So, building your business and then saying, look, I'm just gonna jump into government contracting at the local side, you can definitely get to multi-millionaire status going the local route. It's just, it is what it is, and it's still considered government contracting. But as far as I know, most states, if not all states, get their funding from the federal government. If not all, most. So it's still coming from the federal government, so it's still government contracting, and you cannot ever register in SAM and still do exceptionally well. So in my course, I teach about all 3 of those tiers, because I'm like, why not? Like, you might not win a federal contract for a long time, and that can be very discouraging. So in the interim, if you're saying, look, I only want to bid on stuff that's over $1 million, I don't care, even straight out the gate, cool. Build your business to a point where you can show that you are that business that can take on $1 million contract. Building your business is extremely important. Knowing what you sell. I can't tell you how many people I ask, what do you do? And they do 15 different things. They have a auto body shop. They sell tires. They do hair. They have a daycare. They do construction, and they do daggone everything. You can't do everything. Something in that group of things is not making you money. So cut that out, whatever it is. People have their own personal goals. They go to, want to get there, further their education. Totally get that. Do you, but be realistic with yourself as to what you can provide and what you can do. If you're struggling to do those 15 different things, what happens when you get a contract for $1 million and you have to provide 30 people as staff to perform this work, and you got to manage them every day? How are you going to do these other things? These are real questions, because it's super important that the government knows that you can handle what you said you can handle. Not just to put it down on paper, but you're actually able to do it. So going back to building that business, if you want to just wait around, which is cool, if you want to wait around for $1 million contracts, that's fine. But in the interim, you need to be building your business and not just waiting for that contract to come. I would love to hear what you all have to say. What type of businesses do you have out there? Whether you're in construction, janitorial, you sell a product, you're looking to sell a product, I would love to hear what type of businesses you have in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe so you can see more videos from your girl, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any videos. I'm gonna increase my amount of videos. I'm sorry. Just trying to make sure that I'm delivering value to you guys. And by you guys liking and commenting and subscribing, it helps with the algorithm, so it can push me out a little bit further to the masses, so I can help everybody get to this GovCon money. So leave your type of business in the comments below. So until next time.